Hi, this is Paul Haar from the Saxophonist.org, and I'm here with a review of the Gap Cap and the Spit Sponge from Key Leaves. Okay, who used this? Oh, are you serious? I cannot believe it. So we have two new products that have been sent to us from the good folks at Key Leaves. Rulon Brown says, I have two new things that I think people are really going to enjoy. And I have to tell you, the original key leaf that you can see here in this brochure was our 2018 Saxophonist.org Product of the Year, and has really kind of revolutionized the industry, helped thousands, probably hundreds of thousands by now, of saxophone players stop sticky keys, particularly those low C sharp and G sharp keys. Well, he told me he had two new products that he was really excited of, and one is this thing called the Spit Sponge. Yeah, I got to be honest with you, not a big fan of the title. It's kind of gross, but hey, whatever, you know. And the Gap Cap. The Gap Cap is a adjustable end cap for saxophonists who have various sized instruments and don't want to have play in their case. We'll get into that in a minute. But let's start talking about this first product, which is the Spit Sponge. Now, Rulon and his marketing and wonderful sense of humor, you take it out of the package and it says, clean is saxy. Yeah, okay. So anyhow, what this is a synthetic, like chamois, that is very smooth on one side and then textured on the other. I have to be honest with you, I don't know how they do this. It almost looks like it's sewn. The texturizing on this side, you can see it says sax, is such that it gives, like I said, texture to the feel, but there's not too much so it's being overly abrasive, which means that a person can use these by putting the soft side underneath the key, depressing the key, and absorbing the moisture that's in the tone hole. Or if we need to clean the tone hole, a person could even just gently run it through. This is just an old prop con that I have, but it has a short end or small end that allows for use on the spatula keys, and then a larger end that can be used on bigger keys as such. It's a really neat idea. This is a wonderful way if after swabbing your saxophone, you're still going to have little puddles that pool in the tone holes. This is wonderful. This is the saxophone version. They also have a woodwind version, which is smaller. I found this to be an excellent one to have for soprano. Now, you still want a bigger one for the bigger pads, but for getting into like the double octave key or the stacked octave key on my Yanagisawa, this is really nice. It gets into the G sharp areas and things like that quite well. All right, so let's talk about the next product. And this is one I've got to tell you is really cool. It is the Gap Cap. How many times have you had a new case and your saxophone fits into it and you discover that there's play at the tip area at the end? Or as is my case, in my situation, I bought a brand new Yanagisawa and had a Protect case that I really love, but there was just too much play. And I'll show you how this works in a second. But the Gap Cap is really ingenious. This is a cap. This one happens to work for alto. You can see it comes with a lot of instructions. You know what? This is something that I've come to love and respect from Rulon and everybody at Key Leaves. And that is, the product is made in Seattle. All of his products are made in Seattle. You obviously have to be smarter than the person who's showing the video right now to be able to get everything out, but it comes with instructions on how you can best tailor it to your saxophone. Okay, now that I've got my dexterity embarrassment out of the way, the neat thing about this cap is that it fits a variety of instruments. It still has, as you can see here, an open end for the moisture to vent. Some end caps lock the moisture in. Now, here's what I love. See that this doesn't fit? All I have to do is touch the sides and it slides in to the end of the saxophone. If I need it to be longer, I simply twist it one way, and this is metal. This seems to be a high ABS type plastic. I can thread it out or in, thus tailoring the fit into the saxophone. This is wonderful. So let's take my saxophone and show you how the gap cap makes a case that otherwise is less than ideal into something that's really perfect. Okay, so let's show you how the gap cap works. Okay, this is my ProTech Pro Pack case, and I love this case. It has lots of storage. It is well constructed, has a nice Cordura outside. It's compact, and most of all, it's inexpensive. There is one part about the case that I don't like. And where the case does provide a nice amount of padding and support, up here at this crook, where the tenon is, you can see without a plug or with a typical plug, which would go to about this midway point, it moves a tremendous amount. And we know that movement in a case, no matter how small, is going to equal damage, and damage is going to mean money out of your pocket fixing your baby. And I don't know about you, but I don't like having damage fixed on my instrument. So here's how the gap cap works. Squeeze it, put it in, and adjust this either long or short to fit the case. Watch. Absolutely no play. And when I mean no play, there's no movement at all. Now, if the horn should take a massive hit on this side, the flex that this cap has between the cap and the solid metal knurled screw is going to act like a shock absorber. But this horn is not moving at all. It is now just as snug up here as it is down here. Also, as you can see, I have a new mouthpiece bag. It's the bag that comes with the gap cap. This thing is wonderful. Let me tell you, between the gap cap, the spit sponge, and of course the key leaves, these are three inexpensive products that are going to extend the life of your saxophone, which means the longer the longevity of your instrument, the more you're able to be out there playing, making money, making music, you name it. Now, you're going to have some people who say, you don't need a key leaf, just prop it up with cork. Yeah, great. But I don't want to do that. If I can have something that's going to last a little longer and yes, look a little nicer, this is going to save a lot of people a lot of damage in a lot of cases. I have a really dear friend of mine who has an amazing collection of vintage saxophones, and he wants to keep them in their original cases. Well, those original cases were never very good for saxophones, and he has a lot of play, and he doesn't want to take his super balanced action or his balanced action or his Mark VI and have them jolting around in the case. He can get one of these gap caps for each one of his horns, adjust them to the fit he wants. Those horns are not going to be moving. They're locked in the case. This is really a mind blower, and it is going to be such a useful tool for so many saxophone players. And guess what? I think I saw on his website they're like $49.99, 50 bucks. Okay, guess what? You've spent a lot more money on lattes over the last month. I know you have. So this is something that is always going to work. It made a case that I was almost sold on, completely happy with. This is a winner. You need to check it out.